The beauty of living anywhere in the Australian bush, nature, sometimes even suburbs, is these magnificent creatures. He ran away. He's having a look back. He's not sure. It's okay, you can come over, no worries. Good day, everybody. First, I have to apologize. I haven't done any video for 6 weeks. Hardly been online. There's a story behind it also. First of all, no, I haven't disappeared. And no, I haven't jumped ship. I'm still fully in the story. But I had to leave. My visa in Russia finished. Like I was 6 months in Russia, and I had to leave. Look, I've always been absolutely honest and truthful. And I haven't been shy of criticizing Russia when it needs to be criticized. I've always prided myself for being a true eyewitness reporter. And if some of you noticed, I'm actually unliked by both Russian Telegram groups and Ukrainian Telegram groups. Ukrainian Telegram groups for an obvious reason. And pro-Russian Telegram groups, mostly I'm talking about Western pro-Russian Telegram groups, see me as not radical and strong enough pro-Russian. I'm very curious about it because how many of them have come to Donetsk and put their life on the line. But anyway, I've had my issues with Russian authorities, Russian bureaucracy, because I'm an unknown factor. I'm totally independent. And all the efforts to take away my independence failed. So maybe some see me as a loose cannon or whatever. But I've had issues with the Russian bureaucracy, so they were not, let's say, so eager to extend my visa or so helpful. Anyway, that's all dealt with. I have my visa, I have everything sorted out. People and at the highest level have sorted all these issues out for me. Yeah, it's especially middle level bureaucrats are very threatened by something they cannot control. It doesn't matter which country you're in. And maybe it was good for me to have a break. I'm here, in this beautiful place. I'll turn the camera around. I don't even need to turn the camera around. Basically, my cabin in the forest in Oz. Hopefully, we'll get a small kangaroo or something appear so you can all see it. And it's been good to be away because it's been good to be here and watch and assess where Western society is at. And also assess what's the story, what's the opinion about the Russia-Ukraine conflict. So Western society is going down the drain. I mean, we all know that. At least most of the people who view my channel are aware of it. The Australian narrative, at least, the government narrative is 100% pro-Ukraine. And that's shown itself by the fact that I was the only Australian journalist that was in the front line. I've contacted every media organization in Australia. And I usually contact them by, let's say, I've just returned from the Ukraine-Russia conflict zone. Would you like to talk with me? And they all say yes. But once they realize that I was in Donetsk, silence. They don't want to know about it. Today, for the first time, I've had an appointment with the ABC. ABC is the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. But they seem to have not realized that I was in Donetsk. So they invited me over for an interview. And I was sitting in the waiting room having a chat with a woman who was going to interview me. And it's a young girl, I would call her, like probably in her 20s. So I asked her a few questions. I said to her, do you know who Poroshenko is? Do you know what Euromaidan is? Just wanted to see if it's going to be an interesting interview. She said, no, I don't know. I said, what do you know about the conflict? She said, I know what I see in the ABC. She basically didn't know anything. So I said, okay, please watch some of my videos or bring somebody with knowledge. Like, it was absolutely not interesting for me to do such an interview. The West is lost, and the West is unfortunately beating the drums of war. We see it from France, we see it in other countries. It's all, let's prepare for a war with Russia. If we don't stop Russia and Ukraine, Russia will go into Europe. What a lot of bollocks. People here don't have a clue what life in Russia is about. People think that Russians are living in in another era or something. When I say to them that, look, Moscow is more modern than Sydney, people think that I'm actually fibbing them. There's an Iron Curtain, but the Iron Curtain has changed sides. Maybe during Soviet time, people in the Soviet Union lived behind an Iron Curtain. Now, the people in the West live behind an Iron Curtain. They don't know really what's happening in the rest of the world. All what they're aware of, this small Western world, which now accounts maybe for 16, 17% of the world population. So while all the world is moving onwards, this world, and I do live in a really beautiful place in this world, but the moment I step in society, I see how society is lost. So I will continue to speak my truth, the truth that I observe. I think for the people, for the pro-Russian channels that say, don't show anything else from Russia apart from positive. No, I'm going to show the whole package. It's not natural that to show something that perfect, because nothing is perfect. I show what I see. And what I see most of the time is Western supplied weapons and aggression killing innocent people in Donetsk. But I also see holes in the Russian administration and the Russian approach. I see people that maybe should not live in frontline areas, which are at risk. I'm aware of all these things, and I show them, and I try to create change. And I've seen already in some issues, I have created change. In some ways, we're in the shit. It seems that there's an imbecile in somebody who can't even think or talk in Washington, and he wants to lead the world into a world war. And until now I thought, okay, in my quite long life. I heard so many times the end of the world is coming, world war is coming, and it never came. But now more than ever, I think it's getting close to being real. The lunatics, the maniacs, the Macrons, the Bidens, the Rishi Sunaks of the world, they got no gig. The empire is crushing, the empire is falling. And when empires come to their last days, it's usually the bloodiest moment in every empire. So the colonial, Western, Anglo-Saxon empire is on its last legs. And what usually happens when you go down screaming, you go down kicking. And a lot of the times when you go down, you want to bring everybody else down with you. And that seems what they want to do. So we have to be very vigilant, very aware. I've tried my best to spread the word in the West, at least about what's happening in Russia, how Russia does not want war, how Russia is not the aggressor, how actually for 8 years the people in Donetsk were praying, begging for Russian intervention, but they were just on their own. It only when there was no choice anymore that Russia decided to intervene. But this story is not told in the West. The whole story that's told in the West is that one day Putin had a bad dream and decided to invade Ukraine, and he's on the way to Europe. And if we don't stop him now, he's going to take all of Europe. And if we don't stop him in Europe, he's going to go to the United States. What a load of bollocks. But that's what people are spoon-fed here. It's a bunch of NPCs. We, the awakened, and I don't really say it with any, we're special. We're definitely not chosen ones. But we can see a bit more what's happening. We need to do our best to spread the word. Russia doesn't want world war. The Ukraine production company is the same production company that is creating a genocide in Gaza with 35,000 people dead, hundreds of thousands of injured, and 70% of all the dwellings destroyed. It's the same production company. They operate in Ukraine, they operate in Gaza, in Israel. You just have to do a little bit of research and you see how many Ukrainian oligarchs have Israeli citizenship. So, what to do? I know what I'm doing. I'm going back to Donetsk. I'll continue reporting what I see. I bought a lot of new equipment to bring you better sound, better images. As you all know, I'm a totally independent operator. I rely on you for my work, so if anybody has a spare buck and wants to donate, there's links below. Main thing is follow, subscribe, share. We are a force to be reckoned with. That's why we're blocked everywhere. If we did not pose a threat, we won't be blocked in so many places. Our voice won't be silenced. But it's so hard to silence us now. because there is Telegram and X, although X is a bit of a double-edged sword. Sometimes you post something and there's all these X corrects you, and I don't know. It's not as free as it seems to be. I do suggest that everybody also subscribes to my Rumble channel, just as a safety precaution, and your links below as well. So yeah, I haven't disappeared, I haven't died, I haven't jumped ship. I've had a forced break, which turned out to be a blessing in disguise. So there are a lot of being away for so long. I had a lot of bureaucratic issues also here to resolve. There's different things like new passport, etc., etc., etc. Sometimes I miss this silence. It's so silent here. I can't see even the lights of the next neighbor. Until next time, namaste.